a top neurosurgeon died with his brain completely shut down, then came back claiming he saw proof of reincarnation and the quantum nature of the universe. In this video, I'm sharing the true, medically documented story of Dr. Eben Alexander, whose neocortex was destroyed by a deadly brain infection. Yet he experienced vivid, layered realities beyond anything science can explain. How did a man with no brain activity witness angelic realms, life reviews, and a force of love so powerful it shattered his belief in materialism? Watch until the end, because this isn't just another NDE story. This is the case that forced doctors, scientists, and journals to admit something happened beyond the brain, and it might change everything you believe about life, death, and what comes next.
My name is Dr. Eben Alexander. I was a neurosurgeon, Harvard-trained, committed to science, confident in everything I thought I knew about the brain and consciousness. For 54 years, I believed what every mainstream scientist believes, that our thoughts, our awareness, our very soul, if there even is one, is a byproduct of the brain. When the brain dies, so do we. End of story. And then, on the morning of November 10th, 2008, everything changed. I woke up with the worst headache of my life, pain searing through my spine. Within hours, I was having grand mal seizures. I was rushed to the emergency room and diagnosed with an extremely rare, fast-moving bacterial infection, gram-negative meningoencephalitis. To put it bluntly, I was dying. This infection doesn't just damage your brain, it destroys it. My neocortex, the part of the brain that controls everything we think of as human consciousness, was gone. Medically speaking, I shouldn't have experienced anything, but what happened next still shakes the foundation of everything I ever believed. You'd think the mind would shut down with the brain offline, but instead, I woke up in a place that wasn't here. At first, I found myself in what I can only call the earthworm's eye view. It was a realm of darkness. No language, no memories, no concept of being human. I didn't even know what Eben Alexander meant. I was surrounded by a kind of gelatinous muck, like being submerged in blood vessels and roots. It sounds horrific. But the strange thing, I wasn't scared. There was no fear, just existence. And then, something extraordinary happened. A light appeared, slowly spinning, pure white, edged with silvery gold tendrils. And it sang. Not like music here on Earth, it was deeper, cosmic. It reached through me. That melody wasn't just sound, it was a key. And when it reached me, it lifted me. The next place I landed, it wasn't heaven like you read in books. It was more real than this world, and what I saw there still makes my voice catch when I talk about it. I call it the Gateway Valley, a lush, vibrant world, blossoming meadows, shimmering forests. The colors were alive in a way I'd never imagined. Everything pulsed with life. There were no shadows, no decay, just presence, meaning, joy, and I wasn't alone. Beside me on this giant butterfly's wing was a woman, young, radiant, with high cheekbones, glowing blue eyes, a wide, welcoming smile. She never said a word, but I heard her, not with ears, with soul. And the message was simple. You are deeply loved and cherished forever. You have nothing to fear. You are deeply cared for. Those words, that feeling, it was the most powerful thing I've ever known. But that wasn't the end. The Gateway Valley was just a stepping stone. A choir was calling me higher. Above us, orbs of light swirled, singing hymns, chants, anthems that reverberated through the whole realm. They weren't just sounds, they were structures of consciousness, doorways. And with their help, I moved again. That's when I saw time collapse. Everything I understood about the universe began to fall away. Space-time folded in on itself. I realized this physical world is just a thin layer over something infinitely more vast, what I now call deep time. In that dimension, I witnessed something that blew me apart. Life reviews. Not memories, not thoughts, but reliving moments from my life through the feelings of the people I had impacted. Every joy I gave, every pain I caused, I felt it from their point of view. No lies, no hiding. And here's the kicker. We're not judged by some old man in the sky. We judge ourselves through empathy, through the truth of how we've treated each other. Then I hit the core. And if you think anything I've said so far is strange, what came next shatters every notion we have about reality. The core was pure blackness, but not empty. It was overflowing with love, infinite, unconditional. I call that force Om, not God, because that word has too much baggage. Call it what you want. Allah, Brahman, Yahweh. It doesn't matter. This force is real. It's the source of everything. It doesn't care what religion you are. It is love. There, I saw visions, symbols. One showed me reincarnation, and not in a metaphorical way. Literal return. Our souls live again and again, not to be punished, but to grow, to evolve, to heal. I had never believed in reincarnation. I had mocked it. But what I saw in that core shattered every scientific arrogance I had ever clung to. I thought I was staying there forever, but they kept telling me, "You're not here to stay." I cycled back, again and again, from the core to the gateway, to the earthworm's view, then back up. And every time, I used the melody to travel. That sound became my soul's navigation system, until it didn't work. One time, I tried to sing the melody, and nothing happened. I was trapped in the muck again. But I wasn't alone. Around me, I saw thousands of beings, heads bowed, candles glowing, arms lifted in silence. The energy they created, it was prayer. That's when I knew prayer is real. It connects us, not as some ritual, but as a powerful act of love that reaches across realms. In that moment, I realized we are not isolated. We are connected through a single consciousness. One mind, one heart. At the very end of my journey, I saw 6 faces bubble up from the darkness, one by one. Each said a few words, and even though I didn't recognize them, they were real. Later, I found out 5 of them had been in my ICU room that day. People I hadn't seen in years. People I had no way of knowing were there. And the sixth face was my son, Bond. 10 years old, he had been kept away all week until the family was told I had a 2% chance of surviving. No hope of recovery, they were going to stop treatment. Bond ran into my hospital room. He opened my eyes, one pointing here, the other over there. And he said, "Daddy, you're going to be okay." I didn't see him with my eyes. I didn't hear him with ears. But I knew, I felt it, that emotional connection, soul to soul, dragged me back to this world. When I woke up, I didn't recognize my family. My brain was still wrecked. But over hours and days, language returned. Over weeks, my memories. In 2 months, all my science knowledge came back. And now, 14 years later, I've dedicated my life to understanding what happened, not just spiritually, but scientifically. Here's the bottom line. The brain doesn't create consciousness. It filters it. When the brain shuts off, the mind doesn't vanish. It expands. We are not machines made of meat. We are spiritual beings in physical bodies. And the force that binds us is love. Not poetic love, real love. As real as gravity. The old story, that we're just biology, is dead, and my death proved it. Looking back, the most shocking part wasn't what I saw, it was what I felt. That deep, endless love. It wasn't just comforting, it was truth. The kind of truth that makes all our fears and divisions look small. I used to think reality was made of matter, neurons, chemistry, but now I know. Consciousness is the foundation. and love is the glue holding it all together. I didn't just learn this in some abstract way. I lived it. I died, and I came back with a message that's too important to ignore. We're more than our brains. We're souls, and we're connected. If you'd like to support more real stories like this, shared with heart and honesty, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing this video. It helps more than you know. Thanks for being here.